So the Old School RuneScape Summit revealed some pretty hype updates for 2025, but let's cut to the chase, because today I want to talk about the proposed rewards for the new endgame duo boss, Yama. And before we get into the rewards today, I'm pretty sure Jagex must have some data somewhere that shows that the average Old School RuneScape player only has one friend. First we get the Royal Titans, right? The mid-game duo boss. Now this. I mean, coincidence? I don't know, maybe we're all just loners, okay? Let's get to the rewards though, because there is a theme running through these that feels like it's taking the game in a direction that I just wasn't expecting. First up, Yama is going to be giving us an upgrade to the Death Charge spell. Now, I'm already a huge fan of the Arceus spellbook. I think some of the more recent changes they've made to it have made it by far the best PVM spellbook. You got Thralls, you got Demon Bane, an underrated snare spell, and of course, Death Charge. Death Charge gives you a 1-minute window to restore 15% of your special attack energy by defeating an NPC, and it can only be used once per minute. Our new duo endgame boss is going to drop a permanent upgrade to Death Charge, allowing you to squeeze an extra charge out of it per cast, meaning you can restore 30% special attack energy per minute via Death Charge. This upgrade alone is pretty significant. I can think of a ton of places it will be used, but it is very closely linked to the next reward, which in my opinion is even bigger. Killing Yama is also going to drop Demonic Tallow, which is going to have a high herb lore requirement to mix with a Torstal potion to make the brand new Surge potion. This is great right off the bat because Torstals recently reached an all-time low, just sat around 2.9k, and this update reveal alone has managed to skyrocket its price back up to a pretty reasonable margin if you ask me. Now the Surge potion itself, each dose is going to restore 25% of your special attack energy. Granted, you can only take one sip every 5 minutes, but don't let that distract you from how insanely strong this potion is. There are quite a few notoriously strong special attacking DPS weapons that have quite low energy costs. Burning Claws in particular are starting to look like one of the best special attack weapons for PVM in the entire game now, demonstrated by the sudden huge jump in price. And the application of this potion plus the Death Charge buff actually have really far reaches within Old School RuneScape. Speedrunners are going to have a field day with this thing. I'm looking at the Theatre of Blood and Tombs of Amascut in particular, seeing some drastically reduced clear times with a team using these potions. The Colosseum gets a whole lot easier. Death Charge is going to see more regular PVM uses in skills like Slayer, and that's just a handful of examples. PvP is also heavily affected by the Surge potion. Let's be honest, we've all been on the receiving end of someone spamming Voidwaker special attacks, hoping for a free KO. That's going to get a lot worse. Going even deeper into the PvP special attack rabbit hole, 25% free special attack energy often means just an outright extra special attack to watch out for. Dragon knives, axes, and spears all get an extra special attack for free. And for those Giga Brain PvPers, bigger hitting special attack weapons will give opponents less time to anticipate when another KO opportunity might be coming their way. Generally speaking, you have a rough idea in PvP when someone's special attack energy is restoring or how much special attack energy they've used. But if they're sneaking a pocket 25% special attack energy for free,
call an ambulance! Call an ambulance! But not for me!
This is really going to open some creativity in the PvP space. And honestly, I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. You know how I just mentioned that the Arceus spellbook was goated? Well, we'll also be getting a means to combine Cosmic and Soul Runes via tradable Cosmic Catalyst drops. The Cosmic Soul Rune can be created at 90 Runecraft and means that in a Divine Rune pouch, you can now bring enough runes for Death Charges and Thralls. That's honestly so good. I remember reading this and just thinking, thank God. Cosmic, Soul, Blood, and Fire runes are pretty consistent runes that are used throughout the Arceus spellbook, so while I'm only really focusing on Thralls and Death Charge, there are a number of other spells in here that may see some increased use, or people may be just experimenting with the spellbook in the first place as a result of these rewards, and I love that. I think that's great. Yama's announcement is also responsible for this. The Scythe of Vita reaching nearly 2 billion GP. And that's all because we'll be getting the new Soul Armor set. This actually isn't a new best in slot set, so to speak, but more of a side upgrade from Torva. Its main benefits being greatly improved slash accuracy, slash defense, and magic defense. The Soul set fills a really weird niche, and it actually does outperform Torva in some places. Against NPCs with high slash defense, predominantly slash based attacks, or against something that you just need a little bit of extra magic defense for. And I don't know how you guys feel, but these proposed rewards plus the way that they're written in the blog post might be hinting that Yama is the first of maybe a new wave of bosses with incredibly high defenses in certain styles, opening even more side upgrades for best in slot items. Now I'm just trying to read between the lines there. Don't quote me on that. What I really like about the Soul Armor is the new approach that the old school team have taken to balancing its price between a skilling activity and of course the PvM activity of fighting the boss itself. You can get armor shards from Yama that, when combined with a new unannounced ore from a new mining activity, will create the Soul Armor. Now, Jagex expect this to balance the profit gain from either the skilling element or PvM element of this Soul Armor, based on whichever one has the higher demand or fewer people doing it at the time. I've got to say, I think that's a really interesting concept and kind of brings skilling and PvM closer together. I imagine the mining activity isn't going to be anything remotely close to AFK, so I'm hoping Jagex have thought to like bot-proof it a little bit. That would be nice. But moving on is the final reward, and this is a big one. The Soulflame Horn. Honestly, I'm not sure how I feel about this. The Soulflame Horn is a new weapon, and while it's never going to be used as a primary attacking weapon, its special attack is insane. For 25% special attack energy, allies within 2 tiles have the accuracy of their next melee attack, including special attacks, within the next 6 seconds increased by 100%. What's even more is if the target is an NPC, it bypasses accuracy checks and just hits. Oh, and you also benefit from the special attack if you apply it to somebody else. Okay, there's a lot to digest here. Firstly, the PvM application. This seems great for raiding with friends. You know, you could even introduce someone to the party who's more of a supportive type, which I guess is a new trope for old school RuneScape. Maybe you've got an Iron Man friend who's been pretty unlucky on their Dragon Warhammer or BGS grind, and this is another way that they can just kind of help out the team. Maybe you're all maxed and you're going for a new PB or speedrunning and you just want to melt through bosses with a ton of DPS special attacks. Or maybe you're just looking for an edge against an NPC that has particularly high defense and you just want an extra defense reducing special attack. The Corporeal Beast seems to be a standout example for this, likely taking the average kills per hour way up and potentially increasing the accessibility of the Elysian Spirit Shield. This has obvious knock-on effects to its price, but listen, it's still too early to tell. It may not be as good as it sounds, but to me, this is going to make some of those more trivial, high defense bosses way easier to get through in a team. I just pray it doesn't become Altscape. You know, I can already see EVscape making a video how he had 10 accounts with the Soulflame Horn and killed like 50 Corporeal Beasts an hour. EVscape, if you're watching, you're welcome. That's all good for PvE, but I'm a bit on the fence about this item's application in PvP. We've all experienced running through multi into a team, a clan, a group of people, but what will that look like with a coordinated group of people that use the Soulflame Horn effectively? Sure, against another player, it's not a guaranteed hit, but a 100% accuracy boost is significant. And it does mean that if you're unlucky enough to run into a coordinated group using this, you are 100% going back to Lummy. And actually, on a more positive note, this might encourage more casual PKers to really test the limits of this item. Logging a whole team in on the same tile at one of the wildy bosses with the Soulflame Horn is probably a quick way for groups of friends to make some GP with very little risk. And I'm really interested to hear your take if you are a PKer or PvPer. Is this a big update for you guys? Do you see this changing the PvP meta? There's probably an alternate universe out there where the Soulflame Horn and Surge Potion are polled as part of a PvP update and they failed, but because they're part of this endgame duo boss, it's fine. No one bats an eyelid. So the bit that I'm actually on the fence about with the Soulflame Horn is the special attack energy cost. 25%. All of what I've just mentioned for a mere 25%. This might be a hot take. It might be common sense. You might agree. But a supporting special attack this strong, I expect it to cost 50%. Maybe somewhere even between 40 to 60%, but 25% with a surge potion that just gives you that for free? That feels potentially a little too strong, in my opinion. One thing's for sure, this update has special attacks at the heart of it, and it feels to be moving the game in a direction that plays more on the fun elements of combat, which I'm all for. There's only so far clicking around and stat boosting weapons can take you, and I think moving in a direction of playing with interesting special attacks in the future could be a way to really capitalize on some of these rewards. But that's just my take. I'd love to hear yours. Be sure to let me know in the comments. Although I've tried to take an objective and rough look at Yama's rewards and their in-game application, it's easy to forget that this is a boss geared towards an endgame duo. Jagex have said that this is going to be more difficult than the Desert Treasure 2 bosses, and while that doesn't lock many people out, there definitely will be a certain skill requirement to be able to do this boss effectively. And because of that, why shouldn't the rewards be incredible? Why shouldn't there be a little bit of power creep? The game can't stay stagnant in the same place for too long, and how far can side upgrades actually keep people interested? These are the big questions. I don't know why I'm getting philosophical with this. It's a goddamn cookie clicker game, but I do think these are the biggest rewards that old school RuneScape has had, period. Change my mind. Now, it's been a while since I've covered a news topic, but I feel like this particular one warranted a quick discussion about it. So if you have enjoyed it, please like the video, drop a comment. It can be anything, you know, what color socks are you wearing today? And if you aren't already subscribed, I would massively appreciate it. We are closing in on the 20K sub goal, so let's do it together. Love you all. See you in the next one.